If you're a heating, air conditioning technician, or even a salesperson, why should you value your scope of work? And why is this super important? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Today, I want to have a super important conversation with you. I think all of my conversations are super important, super importante, right? So here's the thing. You took time, energy, effort to learn your craft, whatever it may be. You know, you could be a professional salesperson, you could be a heating and air conditioning technician, you could be a plumber, you could be a roofer, you could even be an attorney. And at the end of the day, you put in a lot of time to hone your craft. And you know, in this world, people think like, hey, if I get a free estimate or I go on a discovery call, you are supposed to give me all of the goods. You, my friend, my super knowledgeable friend with valuable information, are just supposed to lay out all those plans on the table. Okay, so this is something that architects don't do. This is something attorneys don't do. This is something that top-notch consultants don't do. So my question is, why would you? Like, there are people out there that are scumbags. Scumbags in echo. Scumbags, 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 right? And they think that it's perfectly fine to call you and say, hey, look, I'm doing this project. And they fake intent. They fake intent. And then they really don't want to pay you. What they want is your plans, your scope of work, your content, your strategy. And I had this happen. Probably about 2 weeks ago. This person calls me up and I'm like, right? Like, I see the writing on the wall. I see the stitches on the ball before they throw it, or as that thing's spinning. And so I start asking questions. I'm like, can you help me out with something here? Are you under the impression that it's my role and responsibility to deliver you actionable items without you paying for them? And I could hear the grumbling, like, do you really ask that question? Did you really ask me that question? I'm sitting here going, of course I did, right? The amount of time, energy, and effort I put into my craft for business consulting, for sales training, for being in sales is not insignificant, right? It's not. You got to know that. If there was ever a case for you to have better boundaries in business, this would be it. Like, hey, you got to be able to be willing to tell people, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I wish I could. The way that I can help you is, so like you start with an apology. I'm sorry, I don't do that. The way I can help you is, and then fill in the blank. You can wire me some money. You can sign an agreement with me. You can move forward with this project. And this is why you should join my email list, like right here, right? Join my email list. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching and private training. Or discounted group coaching and discounted training. That private training will be in a group, right? You're thinking like private training, like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. I do that, but I charge for it. That's the international sign for money, right? I do charge for it. So here's the thing. You need to be a professional and be willing to say, hey, time out. There was a lot of times that because I didn't know what to say and I didn't know what to do early on in my career that I didn't set this boundary and go, I got to tell you something, buyer. You want me to give you all of this content, but yet you don't want to commit. You don't want to pay me, which is the important part here because it took me time to learn this, right? So like I am probably a little bit different than you. You could take my script and go, I probably wouldn't say it that way. So this is what I would do. When people would call me out and they would say, hey, here's what I want. I want you to design out my project. And then I found out they were never planning on doing business with me. I go, hey, I do have a consulting fee. If all you want is just my information, I am more than willing to give it to you. If you want to do that, that's $1,250. And like, you got to practice this and you got to say it. So you get used to saying, that's $1,250. Like you're saying, can you slide me the salt? $1,250, right? You have to value whatever you offer and put some money towards it. Think about all the times that you've been somewhere. Like if you are a professional, minimum, it should be like $1,500. But the problem is, super important. Let me get the sunlight out of the way here. Oh, there we go. The thing that you need to realize is this can get you a little bit aggressive. There is one last thing. Like this is the super bonus. You have to be careful about not being aggressive when it comes to saying, hey, I've got value to what I bring to the table. You start being aggressive, then like you have the huge possibility of being what we like to refer to as a jerk, right? And you don't want that. What you want is to come across as professional and say, hey, look, I really wish I could help you with this project. What you are asking me for is really out of bounds. I do consulting, and if you would like to pay me my standard fee of $1,250, I'm more than willing to do this. Now, here is what's going to happen. There's like 3 passes this is going to take. The person's going to go, no, thanks for having this conversation with me. It'll be sing-songy. No, thanks for having this conversation with me. It'll sound like Turtle from North Shore. Brah, out here we do things more better. Okay, it'll sound kind of like Turtle from North Shore. 2, they're gonna go like, yeah, I'll pay you. Like yeah, sure, I'll pay you. And then they're like, deliver the goods. And then it's gonna become the battle of like, all right, if I deliver the goods, here's what's gonna happen. You're not gonna pay me. Like, you could pay me up front. You can pay me up front. So this is why you should have your own Stripe account. This is why you should have your own, bank account, business account. I'm not giving you legal advice or business advice. Not an attorney, doctor, or marriage counselor, but I am a taco enthusiast. Okay. And then last of all is they get angry. Angry. How dare you? I'm a consumer. I'm a buyer. I deserve. Right? Anytime that somebody says I deserve in a conversation like this, I'm like, you know what? Thank you for letting me know. I don't think this is going to work out. There's a million different options out there for you. Pick one of them. It's not going to be me. Thank you for taking the time to have this conversation. Very polite, very congenial. Me, the old me, super jerk. Super jerk. I didn't do it that way. I was like, well, then screw you. Right? Didn't work out very well for me. Probably wouldn't work out very well for you. Like, very polite. Hey, I guess that this isn't going to work out. And then, this is common too. They go into, here's what they do. They go into, trying to get a good angle. So there we go. Here we go. Stand in the shade. Oh, look at that. Then they go into, well, I'm going to leave you a bad review. Or I'm going to tell all my friends to never do business with you, which is my personal favorite. I'm going to tell all my friends to never do business with you. And I'm like, if your friends know anything about you, they know what kind of person you are, and they know that this is the type of shenanigans that you play. And I don't want to do business with them if they're anything like you, right? So be aware that at the end, look at that. Man, if I had a wakeboard boat right now, I'd call up friends, come on, let's go out to the wakeboard. So just know that these people who want free information from you, it's not good. Like, other professions put up with this. I'm out here in Sacramento by the Grand Mansion, right? They have some big weddings here, which are really cool. They have some really big weddings here. And I was talking to a photographer. I came out here, I don't know, last month. And the photographer was like, you have no idea how many times people will say, well, why don't you take the photos from me and get free exposure? Like, that's our version of, why don't you just give me your full scope of work? Or like, people will say this to artists too. Well, if you give me that painting, then here's what's going to happen. I will tell all of my friends about it. So you have to be aware of the I will tell my friends about it lie, because it just doesn't happen. So there you go. That's how you deal with somebody who's just after your scope of work, right? There's 3 ways that they're going to react. They're going to go, well, be all super sing-songy about it. They will, say, maybe I might pay for that. And then they never pay. So just so you know, heads up, they never pay. And then number 3 is they're super indignant. What they're not going to do, 99.99999% of the time, is they're not going to pay you. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here, just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. Or you can hit follow if this is social media. Or, best of all, share with a friend. Tag me. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.